এটা ঢুকতে কইছে ঢুকবি শেষ আমি জানি না জানিস আমারে ওয়ার্কের লাগে আমার মাথা তুই ওয়েট থাক তো মিটিং আইডি কি আমার কাছে আছে জাস্ট রেজিস্টার মধ্যে তুই ঢুকবি দ্যাটস ইট
I see you, Aisha.
Great to see everybody. Great to see everybody. This is awesome. Love it. We have 60 people already. That's great.
Hello.
I'm just going to ask for everybody to please make sure your microphones are on mute.
Can you hear me well?
I hear you. Yeah.
Am I heard? Am I heard? Can
You are
guys-
heard. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I hear you. I hear you guys. You sound amazing. So we're going to wait a few more minutes and allow folks to join and enter the conversation.
This background and I are gonna have issues. It's not cooperating right now.
Awesome. This is wonderful. So happy to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining us today on this beautiful Thursday. We hope you are safe. We hope you are healthy. We're so happy to have you all here today. Really looking forward to an amazing conversation around youth voice, saving SYEP, thinking about summer jobs. Really, really excited. We have more folks coming in. We're just gonna give them a few minutes. While we wait, I just wanna quickly toss it over to my colleague, Alondra, who has some really cool stuff to share. Alondra, what's up? And I don't know if Alondra, if you're speaking, but you're on mute. So
Am I muted? Okay.
there you go. There you go.
Okay, there we go. I got it. I'm here. So, hello everyone. Like Josh said, I'm Alondra Rodriguez. I'm a project manager here, and we're just gonna kick things off. So, in the chat function below, can you just add your name really quick? If you're a student, what grade you're in, and what school you're coming from. And then once you're done, we're gonna throw out a poll for everyone and get everything started. All right. Frederick Douglass Academy, Henry Sanchez, 11th grade. Okay, so we have a good mix of people here, good mix of grades, schools. Ooh, I love it. Manhattan Center, come say hi. Okay, oh, High School of Work Cultures. I just learned about that school. All right, super cool. All right, thank you guys. As we continue, please keep adding your name, your grade, and what school you come from. And now we're gonna start a poll. So just kind of to get a better understanding of who's in the room, and then test a little bit, see where everyone's knowledge is of SYEP and their experience. So who's in the room? So a poll should have popped up, and it'll take a few seconds to fill out. Okay, that should have taken a few seconds. And then once you're
How
done,
did it go privately?
okay, super cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the poll and thank you so much for submitting your names. And now I'm gonna toss it back to Josh.
Awesome. Thank you, Alondra, for that. Really excited. We have a lot of high school sophomores, a lot of juniors, seniors in the building. We have some adult allies. Thank you all for being here. Really excited again to have all of you guys in this space. This is your space. The adults in the room will do very minimal speaking, very minimal talking. So I just want to point out a couple of things before we start and before I toss it to our student host. Let me just pull something up really quickly. Again, if you guys have any questions, thoughts, or comments, the chat box is open. Feel free to fill that with any questions or thoughts. I just want to let everybody know that this conversation is going to be recorded, but for internal purposes only. We know that you all are amazing and have really fantastic ideas, and we want to be able to make sure we can kind of go back and make sure we capture all of those things that you guys share in the chat and throughout the talks. So the video will be recorded, but we will not share it out with anybody. It will be an internal file. Again, any questions or thoughts, please put it in the chat box. And without further ado, I would love to introduce our host for this conversation. He is a student ambassador. He's a junior representing University Heights. I bring to you Maddie Dembele. Maddie, take us away.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Again, my name is Maddie Dembele. I'm 16 years old, class of 2021. I attend University Heights High School, just to get you guys acquainted with me. And yeah, so as you know, New York City shut down the 2020 SYEP program, Summer Youth Employment Program, due to the complications that have been related to the coronavirus. And SYEP has been in our system for millennia, practically. It's been in our system since 1963, and it's the nation's largest youth employment program, and it connects low-income city youth between the ages of 14 and 24 with career opportunities and paid work experience. We want to keep SYEP intact. We want to keep it here because it's necessary. It provides a service that's irreplaceable, and therefore we need it. It cannot go. So, Joshua, if you made the next slide. Okay, so this is the agenda for the webinar. So obviously we don't have you here for no reason. We just want to hear the student voice. We want to get your guys' opinion on what we should do with SYEP, because obviously it can't go. Like I said before, it provides a service that is irreplaceable and is a necessity to all of us, because we're African Americans and Latinos. We come from not the richest families, and those provide a nice little stipend for us to do what we have to do. So we're just going to talk about the current state of SYEP. We're going to get a little parent or partner share out. There's going to be a little breakout activity, the student recommendation share out, and then we're going to have our closing. But before we get to all of that, I would like to introduce to you Miss Christina Samuels. If I said that correct, Christina Samuels, yes, who is the project manager here at Here to Here. Miss Christina, if you're online, the floor is now yours.
Hey everyone, thanks Maddie for that. I'm Christina Samuels. I'm the project manager of policy and impact at Here to Here. And I'm just gonna sort of lay a little bit of groundwork about what Here to Here is, what we do, and about the SYEP program for you all. So Joshua, I think you're the Vanna White today, right? Yep, okay. So as Maddie said, SYEP is the country's largest youth employment program. Every year, 75,000 young people between the ages of 14 and 24 in New York City get to participate in the program and earn money over the summer. It's not only a chance for them to earn money and to contribute to their households, but they're also able to explore their interests, learn skills in an industry, and get better prepared to enter the workforce. So we have a question for you all. So we're just polling everyone to see if you've participated in SYEP before. Wow, it looks like a lot of people have. And we'll give folks just a few more seconds to answer. Almost everyone's answered. Great. So it looks like actually a split room. So half of everyone in the that's here today has been part of the Summer Youth Employment Program, and half haven't. So it's a really great opportunity for young people to get work experience and earn some money as well while they're doing it. So next slide. So last month, the Department of Children and Community Development, DYCD, which oversees SYEP and other youth service programs, announced that they were going to suspend the SYEP program for the summer, saying they didn't see how the program could be carried out without risking the health of young people and New Yorkers, given the COVID pandemic that's happening right now. Shortly after that happened, Mayor de Blasio released his proposed city budget. And for those of you who don't live for policy like I do, what happens each year is the governor, so Governor Cuomo, creates a budget and submits it to the state legislature. They vote on it. It's passed on April 1st. And then right after, the city puts together its own budget that they have to pass by the end of June. So Mayor de Blasio proposed a budget that completely cut out funding for SYEP for this year. And so if things don't change between now and July 1st, there won't be any city money for SYEP. But the thing is, organizations that have been running SYEP programs from the start of the pandemic, they've been coming up with ways to make the program be able to function remotely, right? So they were in talks with DYCD, with each other, with students who had been in the program, really to try to figure out how to make it work remotely. And since most students have some access to technology and to the internet right now, hopefully anyway, so that everyone's able to complete their schoolwork, and they're eager to, what we're hearing is that everyone's eager to be able to do something over the summer that gives back to their communities and makes them money. We feel that DYCD should reconsider and reinstate the SYEP program as a way to do that. So we have another poll for you all. It should come up in just a second. So for everyone here, did you apply or were you planning to apply to SYEP this year? Couple more seconds. All right, so it looks like 80% of everyone here was either applied or was planning to apply, and another 13%, so essentially everyone was considering applying to SYEP. So like I said, that's everyone in the room and 75 or 74,900 other young people across the city would have applied and been able to work through SYEP this summer. So what this really comes down to is a matter of money. And while DYCD and the mayor's office are saying that they're concerned about everyone's safety, really what's happening is that because of all of the economic stuff that's been going on, and I'm sure everyone's heard on the news about businesses not being able to be open and what it's doing to the local and U.S. economy. Mayor de Blasio needs to find $3.4 billion to cut out of his budget, and he figured that SYEP was an easy target. So it takes $124 million to run, so that's a chunk of money. It's a program for young people, and the city often underestimates the power of youth voices and figures that they won't fight back to when programs that support them are cut. And so with all of that, they kind of rolled it into this concern for the public's health, but really they were trying to save money. And yesterday I sat down and actually did the math. And $124 million, it's a lot of money, and I would love to have that in my bank account. But it's really only 3% of the total budget cuts that they need to make. And so for 3% of the savings that they want, it's affecting 75,000 young people. Almost 10% of young people in the city are not going to be able to find work this summer through the SYEP program. And the overwhelming majority of those young people are low income and young people of color. So, you know, for the small savings, we're really disrupting the lives of so many people. So next slide. So what we're doing about it, what Here to Here specifically is doing about it is we're working to support all of the SYEP program providers, youth service nonprofits, schools, and community leaders in the city that rely on SYEP to connect young people that they work with to internship and work opportunities. And we're also talking to city officials, including the mayor's office, the city council, and other elected leaders. And we're also trying to get as much press coverage as we can to alert the public about what's happening, because a lot of people just don't know. A little bit about Here to Here is we're a nonprofit, and we connect students, schools, and employers to give students better access to career opportunities and employers access to the diverse young talent in New York City. So SYEP was one of the main ways that we were able to connect young people to employers and build connections between schools and employers as well. A little bit later, you're going to hear from a lot of really awesome people who are working with other groups and organizations who are also doing advocacy around this. So I won't take up too much time on that. So next slide. So really, two things can happen as a result of all of this advocacy work that everyone's doing. And that includes what we're doing here today. So one thing that could happen is on June 30th, when the budget has to be passed, the mayor can change his mind and put money back into the budget for SYEP, and we can, you know, we can give jobs to 75,000 people, and we're putting a lot of pressure on him to tell him to fully fund it. Either way, he's going to be getting $22 million from the state, which also sounds like a lot of money, but it's not when it comes to creating jobs. But he'll have to use it for some kind of SYEP program, and so we're also trying to pressure him to use it in the best ways possible. He said that he wants to use it for the most in need young people. So we want to find out what he means by that, what he plans on doing with that money, and have some influence over how he spends it. And the other thing that could happen is he could say, we're not going to put the money into the budget. You know, we're standing by what we said, SYEP is cut. And so we're also working with a lot of organizations to try to figure out what alternatives to SYEP can look like so that young people can still get internship experiences and still get some money this summer. Next slide. So, you know, over the last 2 months, I can't tell you how many calls and meetings I've been part of where we're trying to really reimagine what summer internships can look like this year. And I've heard things from plans for full internships, so 8-week-long internships that are remote, where students are paid to work with a company or organization from their homes. That's also assuming that we stay inside this summer. There's also plans for what we're calling micro internships. So those would be 1 or 2 week internships with a company or organization, but working on like a small discrete program for a stipend. And I'm also hearing a lot about creating project-based learning opportunities for young people to work on you know, one specific project with a company or organization for, you know, 2 to 4 weeks to solve a problem that they're having. And one example of what a project-based learning opportunity looks like is actually our Here to Here's Thinkubator model, which you'll hear more about later. But the Thinkubator is a group of Bronx students who work together to solve a problem for a local business. So the business comes to the Thinkubator and says, you know, I think earlier this year there was a business that wanted to infuse the Bronx culture into their business because they'd recently relocated to the Bronx. And so students got together and they did brainstorming and they worked together for several months and came up with a menu design that really reflected the Bronx You know, they figured out ways to decorate the offices to make sure that Bronx art was being highlighted there, and really tried to incorporate a lot of the vibrant Bronx culture in that company. So we've asked you all here today to help us think creatively about other ways of reimagining summer work experiences. So what we want to hear from you is, what are some innovative ideas that you have that are like the Thinkubator, or ways that we could be using the city funding, should we get some, to create virtual programs that are still meaningful? And most importantly, we're looking for ways to make sure that you all and other young people learn the skills that you want to and explore the careers that you're interested in while also staying safe. So if you had, if SYEP got fully funded and you were able to do it, what are some of the changes you'd like to see in the program if you've done it before, or what would you want to get out of it if you're new to SYEP? And if we're completely scrapping it, like, what would a great internship experience look like for you? And that's all I got.
Ms. Christina Samuels, thank you for your word. Again, your word and your ideas are power, and it will be used and it will be taken into great consideration in this fight to keep SYEP alive. Now that that's out the way, I would like to introduce our first student ambassador, who would be our first speaker. She's my fellow student ambassador. She currently attends Bronx International, and please put it together for Ms. Litza Rosario. Litza, the floor is now yours.
Thank you for your introduction, Mari. So, as Mari was saying, I am Litza Rosario, and I will be your host for the next minutes. I will be introducing some of our students for partner organizations that they will be sharing how they're doing this summer. So our first host will be James Wallenrod. He's from Bronx Pit, and if you're there, I will pass the mic to you, so please be able to speak. James, you over there?
Hey everyone, my name is James Wallenrod. I represent the Bronx PIC. I am an 11th grader at South Bronx Community Charter High School. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what the Bronx PIC has been doing lately. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Bronx PIC has engaged in food relief efforts to address the food insecurity impact in our borough. We are coordinating these efforts in partnership with World Central Kitchen and Rap for Bronx. Here are the latest figures through the end of last week. We have packed and or distributed 4,600 grocery bags in the Bronx through the RAP program, and delivered 3,639 meals through the WCK program. The Bronx PIC is also excited to announce opportunities to the youth during summer 2020. We are currently in the process of developing a virtual internship to make sure the youth of the Bronx have an opportunity to make money and further strengthen their skill set as they enter the workforce. The PIC is also partnering with DreamYard to roll out the 4th iteration of our Thinkubator program. The challenges students will focus on issues currently impacting the youth during this unprecedented time, like helping to address the food insecurity issues mentioned before. These efforts will be supported by our council members and local partners. We will continue to provide more information about these exciting opportunities as they become available. If you are interested or have any questions, I will put my email in the chat box below, and feel free to contact me.
Thank you, James. So that was his amazing opinion. Do you have anything else you want to share out, or you are okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So thank you very much, James. Our next host will be Tasnia Raham, and she came from CareerWise in New York. And so the mic is all yours.
Hi guys, this is me, Tasnia Rahman. I work at Here to Here. My responsibility is support my supervisor to recruiting the students like apprentices as like me. And our plan is to do the summer is during this summer, we expect all the cohort 1 apprentice will be continue working remotely on their regular hours, and newly apprentices who will be hired cohort 2, they're doing the 7 weeks online bootcamp online bootcamp training on the afternoon starting on July 6th, and it will end at approximately mid-August. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for the amazing information, Tashnia. So can you put your Gmail on the comments on the chat below? So if students have any question or they want to reach out to you, they can text to you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. So our third host for today will be Troy Berton. He comes from Dreamyard, sorry, and he will be saying his opinion about this thing too. So Troy, it's
Hey
your turn
friends.
now.
Hi, I'm Troy. I work at the Dreamyard Project, and I put together a lot of internships and things for young people. And I've also been in a lot of these circles thinking about kind of reimagining what SYP looks like. And the biggest question that a lot of people are asking are thinking about like what are the different elements that each experience needs to have. Like what a lot of people were thinking about it in like categories. So you heard about like micro internships or, you know, just doing a credential. But I was talking to another group of young people and they were like, there are kind of elements that we want all put into one. And so I can't wait to hear what you all come up with. But I also was just curious about what are the kind of like things that you want included in every single experience, like in every single internship experience. So I just wanted to pose a question to you all, not really provide any answers and I know you guys are going to discuss, so I look forward to hearing what you all come up with.
That's a nice topic to discuss. Thank you. That was Troy. I will give you a round of applause myself. Sorry. So now will be Latoya Bitchman. She will be coming to talk to you guys for a few minutes, and she's from Teens Take Charge. And she's also a Here to Hear ambassador. So Latoya, I will give the mic to you now.
Thank you so much, Litza. You're doing a great job. Yes, I am a student Here to Hear ambassador, but I'm also a part of the youth-led organization Teens Take Charge. And we've also been on the inside of the SYP campaign. I'm one of the students captain, basically leading this whole campaign, and being on the inside has been really different because like you really get to hear the stories of what's going on. So as you know that Teens Take Charge. As you know that SYP is the nation's largest youth employment program. So it provides 75 million. Ooh, I always get confused with those. But with internships over the summer, and Mayor de Blasio decided to cancel the program, and it's $124 million in funding. And I was really shocked that he did that, because he didn't even like think about the families that he would affect and the people that really counted on SYP, especially I'm one of those people. I'd love to be a part of SYP. And yeah, 124 million, it sounds like a lot, but when you distribute it to the communities and the families and the students who need it, it helps. We've started a change petition, and we got nearly 30,000 petition signatures. So that's a lot of students, getting in on what's happening. And we've also been writing student opt-eds, and the opt-eds are basically about SYP and how it's changed students' lives. And when you really read the student opt-eds, it's that you get to notice like how big of a deal this is for the families. Also, we're trying to work with other young peoples, and we're trying to get to know their story and put their story out there. So really our mayor and our council members can know that this is a big deal for us. We're also trying to reimagine what SYP looks like, especially since so far we already know that SYP is really like an in-person thing, but we're trying to change it and see what it would look like if it was virtual. We've gotten 31 city council members to recognize us, and we're trying to get more on top of this. The comments, sorry. We're trying to get more involved in this movement. And we've been doing daily actions, op-eds, letters to Bill de Blasio's, and tweets. Our daily actions are basically emails, and the emails, when you follow the instructions, it leads you on how to get on the inside of the fight and inside of what's going on. And it's not even a lot of work. Like, the daily emails are like one click and you made a tweet to your mayor and now he knows your name. But aside from that, yes, if you do drop your email inside of the chat box, I'll definitely copy your email, and I'll make sure to send the daily actions out to you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Latoya, for sharing. And as you heard, guys, remember to put your Gmails so she can copy and she can send you information about this and what's happening around SYP. So make sure you do it. Now we will be having two guests. They will be coming from Children's Aid at Fannie Lou Hamer. Our host will be Singer Stewart Green and Gloribel Gonzalez. So please feel free to join in the call. Posters.
Thanks, Lisa. So our two representatives from Fannie Lou Hamer Children's Aid, if you all can maybe turn on your mic, maybe the mic is off or the video is off. Would love to hear what you all are doing from Children's Aid and Fannie Lou's perspective. All right, so maybe Lisa, let's go to our next speaker, and then hopefully we can get those guests after that.
Okay, so since they haven't shown up yet, let's move on to our next host. That will be Aisha Waggett. She comes from Phipps neighborhood, and let's hear what she has to say for all of us. Please feel free to join.
Hi, my name is Aisha. I'm a member of the BXCAT. And firstly, I just want to say that it's really dope that 109 youth stopped what they were doing today and joined the call to learn and talk about the importance of SYP. And it just shows the commitment and the change we can make as youth. And I think it's clear so far that SYP changed the lives of many youth, but most importantly, youth of color. SYP gave youth a reason to stay off the streets. It provided professional skills, networking skills that weren't resources for many. Hold on. Whew. Today, I just seen a post that said 32 million Americans since May have just filed for unemployment. So this means that since the start of Corona and till now, this means there's 33.5 million unemployed Americans. This is an economic crisis, and it's going to enchain youth to poverty, and most importantly, Black youth into poverty. What we need is to fight for the government to find and create new programs similar to SYP that is virtual, or they can fund programs similar to SYP so youth can have a reason to survive. Because at this point, many youth, especially youth of color, are going to resort to the streets because they just want to survive. So yeah.
Yeah, that's totally relatable. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. That was really dope. And if our next host wouldn't join in, I think we shall move on to the next section. So I will be saying thanks to all the speakers for sharing out. It's important for us to hear about the work that each of us are engaged in, so others may provide support. So everybody, let's keep it up. So thanks again, everybody. And I would like it to toss it back to Mari. So Mari keep came doing his work. And thank you very much again, everybody. Mari, I have you.
Lisa, I just want to say great facilitation. You did an amazing job. And I just want to say thank you to all our guest speakers, James, Tasnia, Troy, Latoya, Zing and Glorville, who couldn't be here, but hopefully they could come. And Aisha, thank you for that last word. And once again, thank you for your facilitation. It was awesome. Now I'm going to bring in my next comrade, student ambassador. She currently attends Bronx Leadership Academy, class of 2021. Here is Nicole Vargas. Nicole, the floor is now yours.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Vargas. I am an ambassador for Here. And thank you, Maddie, for your introduction. Now let's move into shining the light on our youth voices. We will now go into our breakout rooms for 15 minutes, and I'd like to ask the adults to stay or to return to the main room with Alondra, who will lead a separate conversation with you all. We want our youth participants to feel comfortable sharing their opinions amongst themselves with the Here ambassador and facilitators. There will be some rooms without an ambassador due to the amount of attendees. So if you're in a room like that, please feel free to self-assign a facilitator. This conversation will help us know and better understand what students need and want their summers to look like. Please make sure there is a note taker and timekeeper for your breakout rooms, I'm sorry. Joshua will post guiding questions in the chat box now. We will come back as a group and share our student recommendations. Now we will go into our breakout rooms. Thank you.
One second, folks. Having some technical difficulties with the breakout rooms. Give me 1 second. We'll get this sorted out.
Joshua?
Yes.
What just happened?
Just 1 second, because we're trying to sort the breakout rooms. Yeah. One minute. I have some issues.
So, lovely weather we're having.
It'll be great as we wait, guys. Let's populate that chat and just highlight any of the things that you've heard so far from any of our youth speakers that really gravitated towards you, anything that you connected to, whether it's about SYEP or finding different ways to make sure our young people have employment for the summer. Let's populate the chat and get some of those ideas and recommendations going. All right, so, all right.
Yeah, we're hoping to brainstorm a little bit more around remote internships during our breakout rooms. So for sure, I think it's a very viable alternative for sure.
I think the rooms are ready to go. Again, just reiterating what Nicole said, we're gonna ask our adult allies, if you got a request to enter a breakout room, just make sure you return back to the main room and Alondra will help facilitate a conversation with you all. Everyone else, all young people, please make sure to engage and come up with some amazing ideas and recommendations and be prepared to share those out once we come back to the main room. Okay, and we'll have about 15 minutes for this discussion. So I'll open up the rooms. Hopefully you all can see it.
Hello. Okay. Just give everyone a few minutes to leave the breakout rooms. Okay, as people are coming in. Hello, everyone. Is this everybody? All the adults that were in the main room?
My colleague is having technical issues.
Wait, say that one more time, sorry.
My colleague is having technical issues.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I'll just let everyone have a few more minutes to get together. Let's see. Okay. So as the students are discussing SYEP in their breakout rooms, we also wanted to discuss SYEP with the adults who were joining our meeting today. So we just have a few questions just to kind of get your feedback around it, but also hear what's going on in other schools and their response to the SYEP cancellation. And again, my name is Alondra Rodriguez. I'm a project manager at Here to Here, and I work along with Josh and Christina and the student ambassadors to put together this webinar. We are hoping that through our efforts, we'll be able to, if SYP doesn't come back, that we can figure out some kind of alternative. So I would also love to hear what everyone else is thinking. So my first question was, what has been the response to the cancellation from your staff members and from students and any partners that you work with?
So I'm happy to share. Hi, everyone. I'm Sandra. I am here representing the Opportunity Network. If you're not familiar with the organization, it's a New York City-based organization that supports young people, primarily first-generation students, to receive college and career readiness support, right, across a 6-year trajectory. So we do have, well, I'll just share one thing before I go into it. I don't work on the student-facing team. I work on the partnerships team, and we partner with organizations and schools, like even in other states. So I can talk about what our Newark partner is planning to do, and I can talk about what our own organization is planning to do in New York City, just real briefly. I want to make sure other folks have time to talk as well. So Opportunity Network, what we're planning to do is building off of like the network that we have of employers, thinking about what remote learning and remote working opportunities we can offer students. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have like a research project-based learning internship over the summer. So students can pick a topic of their interest, and they'll be doing, they'll have a research project, and then they will be also matched with an employer who is open to supporting them with remote, who's open to offering remote work and is related to the project. And then they'll get, I don't know too many details about the stipend. I'm not sure how that's being worked out, but I know that, yeah, I know about like the research project based learning, and that they will be matched with an employer from our network who's open to remote opportunities. And then in Newark, they are still keeping their SYEP, which is awesome. And we're working with the Newark Youth One Stop Agency, who is fully leading that effort. And what they're planning to do is a virtual learn and earn, which is a cute title. And students will get a stipend of $600 for the summer. And it includes 6 weeks of different types of engagement. There will be virtual content curriculum around like career readiness. They'll have speakers, like career exposure speakers and panels. And then they'll also have a project. It's actually very similar. It's kind of similar to what we're doing. But they will also have a project matched with an employer related to something the employer is hoping to gain that can be done remotely. But that's like a smaller component of the 6-week program. So yeah, those are my updates.
No, thank you so much for sharing. So the 6-week program, would it run like the same schedule as SYEP, or it's a plan to start maybe a little later? Because that's something that I've been hearing too, is that folks are pushing back the start date. Is that something that you all have been thinking about as well?
So in Newark, for the SYEP in Newark, it's starting in July. So like first week of July. It's a really ambitious plan though, I will say, because, you know, with all the changes that are happening, but what they're hoping to do is launch it by July 6th. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anyone else who would like to share some of the efforts that their organizations are doing, or some ideas that they were floating around that they would like to share with the group? Because we also wanted to see like if there was already plans in place, but if others had at least some ideas or have heard of what others are doing.
So I'll jump in. Oh, Troy, did you want to go ahead? Okay. Just let me introduce myself first. My name is Brandon Martin. I'm from Phipps Neighborhoods. We're a multifaceted social services organization based in the Bronx. And in my role, I serve as director of a few of our youth workforce development programs, one of which being SYEP. So in terms of planning for alternative work sites, alternative experiences for our young people, we have been thinking about some virtual internships that the young people can partake in. Like Sandra talked about, we also were thinking about project-based learning experiences and service-based learning, service learning experiences that could be done virtually as well, in which the young people can be engaged in a project around a theme of their choice, in which they're really investigating something that's of interest to them, that will bolster their learning and their experience for the summertime, and then just other creative ways in which we can engage the young people given the current circumstances. So we have these ideas, but you know, it is contingent upon receiving any funding to be able to execute and compensate the young people for these experiences. So just wanted to share out a little bit of what we've been working on.
Thank you for sharing, Brandon. For those who work either with students directly, like through a school or through a program, can you gauge like what is a percentage of students in your cohorts that usually participate in SYEP? Like, is it like almost all students, 50%? It doesn't have to be an exact number.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julissa Figueroa, and I work for Children's Arts and Science Workshops. We are an SYEP provider. In regards to your questions, we had both programs, like the regular lottery-based SYEP and then the school-based SYEP. I was very excited for this summer because even when the schools were closed, our applications still were floating. Like in every school, that there is a limit number of slots, awarded for each school from our contract, but they were like to 100%, 110% above the number. So if each school had like 200 slots, there were over 200 applications. Because normally we like to go, a little bit above, for those, that drop out. But this summer specifically, I don't know why, but everybody wanted to apply for SYP. I think, last summer was one of the first year of the whole school-based SYP. So I guess when a former SYP went back to school, they talked to their friends, like what things they got with the money, the experience. So they spread the word. So, and I'm pretty sure that Brandon can agree with me, like we were ready to go virtual. We were getting there, like the schools were closed. We knew what we had to do, how to upload documents, how to continue, how to do virtual work readiness training, so all providers, they were ready to work. And I know that there's ways to run the program, same thing that everybody keeps saying, virtual internships. We reach out to every our websites who can provide virtual internships. X amount of words I can provide. Some of them, no, some of them can. How can we keep social distances, in the website? So I know that the issue was the money for the whole suspension. So I'm joining this webinar today to hear, your ideas that can, in case that the program comes back, we can, return it really fast, because the longer they take, the more difficult will be to bring all the staff back and to, to come up with the resources. So thank you so much for inviting us all to be here today to listen to you guys.
No, and thank you so much for participating and joining us today. Definitely the number of attendees really surprised us. Our expectation was like 40 to 50 people. We reached about 200 people who registered. Obviously not everyone made it, but so thank you so much for participating. And then also for any students that you shared this, the link to register. And something that I wanted to point out as well, and I also apologize, my mom is cooking in the background. So if all the racket that you hear behind me is her making dinner.
No worries.
Something I wanted to point out that I also noticed was there was kind of like this energy to apply for SYP this year, more than I had ever seen before. So that's something that we also experienced when like right before we canceled, like so many students were like, Miss, I have all my things together, my application's ready, can you help me with this, can you help me with that? So it's definitely very disheartening to when the news came out. So definitely I saw that surge of energy as well. And I'm just looking through my list of questions. And so if there is a chance that SYP does come back, something that we've been trying to figure out is like what a remote version could look like. And something I wanted to ask you specifically is like, now through this experience of working remote, what are key components that you think should be essential when creating a remote version of SYP to make sure like the quality of the internship is strong? So if there was anything that you guys already noticed that you think should be added, let me know. And
well, first and foremost, and I think this speaks to the digital divide that unfortunately the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed, but being able to have access to reliable internet connection, and at least a mobile phone that they can work from to be able to connect is important. It's a plus if they have a laptop at home or some type of computer device. But at minimum, if they have a phone with reliable internet access to be able to engage in a remote setting.
thank you. Because one thing that was thrown around is the use of either like Google Classroom or some kind of other platform to be used as like a tracker. Because since we're not in the usual setting that we are when a student does an internship, like what would be the best way to kind of still be in communication that isn't videoing like all day, every day, that students can still track their progress and see what is it that's coming up. So that's one thing that's been thrown around, but if someone else had a different suggestion, I'd love to hear it. or any ideas around that too.
So one of my colleagues uses Google Classroom now in terms of interacting with participants in a program that he oversees. And he's definitely has found it effective in terms of engaging those program participants. It's a very easy way to, you know, track attendance, quote unquote, in terms of, you know, when you go into the system, you're able to see, you know, the participants or the young people that are in there. You're able to do, you know, Google Hangouts and those virtual interactions, which are important. And I do think that that could be the wave or the platform through which we can engage the young people virtually.
Thank you. And has anyone heard of, so like there's been the talk about like, oh, remote SYP would be a good alternative, a way to compensate for regular SYP, but have you heard of anyone being like, remote SYP would be a really bad idea?
Absolutely not. I mean, at least from the circles that I've been, you know, engaged with, the young people themselves, they want to be able to continue to have a work experience where they are safe and they are practicing, you know, that social distancing, and they are definitely on board when it comes to being able to do some type of remote work, virtual learning, virtual work-based learning, virtual internship, virtual service, or whatever the case may be, so that they can still have the opportunity to make money this summer.
Yeah, and to piggyback in Brando, you know, what I heard is like stipend, even a credit, even, you know, a student credit, college credit, you know, whatever incentive, but let us have the opportunity to you know, build our resume. At the end of the day, you know, especially, you know, juniors, seniors, you know, that you need to boost that resume, you know, for your college application, you know, that opportunities miss. Maybe I have a lot of participants from last summer that I told them, according to how well you do last summer, I'm gonna find the best internship available over there. So they really step up, work harder last summer, and I was gonna, keep my promise. You know, I say like, you know, you're gonna land in that internship because I know, you know, maybe in Columbia University, you know, or in a specific department that you want because you want to, that's what you want to do. And that the opportunity is gone. So right now I know that the money is important. I know that especially in these crisis, you know, a lot of families went, you know, were depending on that money, especially if you're going to college, you know, in September, you know, that money will have it come in handy. But like right now, the experience and some kind of incentives, by incentives, whatever the city organizations can come up with.
Yeah. No, thank you for bringing that up. That's definitely, I agree with you, because I've heard that as well. It's like students like, yeah, I would love the money, but I also, this was my chance to build up my resume, just like you said. And I'm hoping that through all our efforts, we could, and all the different suggestions that we can come up with, be like, hey, like, if isn't all the money, can you at least give maybe some money and a credit? Or if it's just credit and something else, like at least something, like at least a chance to do it. So I definitely agree with you, Julissa. Thank you. I think we're almost done. I think we have a minute left, I think. But any last tidbits, any final remarks, any ideas that anyone wanted to share, or thoughts, sentiments?
So, I mean, I just want to encourage everyone to just keep up the good fight. Tweet at the mayor, save at hashtag save SYEP, you know, call your council members, call your state senators, you know, call your representatives. Like we definitely want to continue to make some noise and not really, you know, really just not let this go down. Like this, you know, we cannot have, you know, work opportunities for our young people. Like, so that's all I have.
No, I agree. Yes, we gotta keep up the good fight. All right, I think we're all coming back, but thank you so much, folks. I enjoyed chatting with everyone.
All right, thank you.
So breakout rooms are
We
returning.
can leave now?
In about 15 seconds, all the folks that were in room should be back in the main chat. So
Are we allowed to leave or are we still have to stay?
yeah, we're gonna do one last piece, which is like a share out of what folks have spoken about, and then we're gonna start closing out right after that. Great question, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I think we're all back. I will pass it to Maddie. Maddie, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Well, I was in my breakout room. I got a whole bunch of beautiful and juicy insight from my group members. And I'm just going to start off with the first question. The first question reads, how can a remote version of SYEP be beneficial to young people and employers?
Well,
And
I'm so sorry, Maddie. I think Samaya was going to. Yeah.
Okay, Samaya was going to do that. Okay, so yeah, so okay, so I would like to introduce her properly. She currently attends Bronx International class of 2022. Samaya Ablai. Samaya, the floor is now yours.
Thanks, Maddie. Now we would like to hear from each of the groups. What kind of solutions or recommendations did you discuss? Group will have 1 minute to share out their recommendations. Group 1, please, can you kindly share what your group discussed? Group 1.
Hi guys, my name is Clarabella, and I was honored with talking with a lot of the young folks. And basically for the first question, how can remote learning from working at home with SYEP be beneficial to students? Many said that since like transportation is stressful, and that takes up a lot of time, now they could work from home, from the comfort of their home. A lot of people also said that they could gain a new experience. So it would be like, something that they could take and put it into their jobs in the future, since a lot of business work is now being becoming the thing. New skills and jobs would be basically they would have better understanding to like these things that they aspire to, gain college experience, and basically they're gonna have things that they will have to do in the future. Anyways, like working from home, working from your laptop, staying at home working, for a job. A lot of people said that to change, they would have like supervisor check-ins, a spreadsheet template in which they could talk with their other mates. And last but not least, they said that something new or different that should be added to our SYEP remote should be student workshops, since this is all new to us. So these student workshops could like help them make a smooth transition from social to remote. Thank you.
Samaya, you're muted.
Sorry. Well, thank you so much, Group 1. That was amazing. Group 2, will you mind sharing?
So this is my turn to speak now. So with my group was group number 2, and with my group, we decided that a remote version will be a good idea, since this will get the chance to learn more about technology, which is good, since technology is used a lot in college. That was for the first question. For the second question would be that they will like to have more experiences on the things that they like. My group say things such as nursing, design, and how to deal with taxes and engineering. They would like to have the chance to also design their own job, like what they would like to do. That was a very good opinion that I heard from one of my group members, and I really like it because it shows that they are able to think more further away from what people expect. They like to express their own ideas and by this, they would like to have the experience to win more, to get more into it, and to make this into their final career. So, yeah, thank you very much. That was and thank you, my group, for sharing.
Thank you, group 2. That was, ooh. Group 3, let's go, please. Group
Okay,
3.
so I think we were group 3. I'll put my camera on. So in my group, we discussed on, I think the two like focus questions that we had the biggest conversations was what hasn't worked well with SYEP, and that was that it should be like more project-based learning and should like be based more on like future careers and stuff like that. We also talked about like working on presentation skills, self-advocacy, and networking skills so that one could have like, so one could be built, and like when going into the workplace, like they will be like ready for it. And something else that we said is that like one should like have like workshops and like mentors to help them guide them through these times, and like guide them through how to do certain things, because most of the time these people do not have access to stuff like that.
Woo! That was amazing. Group 5, please.
Okay, now it's my turn. I believe I was group 4, and yeah, like I said before, I got some good insight and a lot of juicy information from my group members, and I just want to direct our attention to question 2: what new skills or new job experience would you like to have? Do these tie in with career aspirations? So I got a lot of responses that say, hey, we're tired of I'm gonna say frivolous, because it has nothing to do with what we want to. It has nothing to do with what we want to do as we get older. Like, let's say I want to get a degree in communications. I don't want to babysit or do like a summer camp. Like, I want to do something that pertains to what I want to do as I get older. So I got a lot of juicy feedback. I'm talking mentorship programs, resume workshops, economics class, SAT prep, college courses, college now during the summer, and internships that eventually turn into jobs. So you'll have the internship, then you'll go through like this little boot camp, you'll go through the proper training, and then you'll acquire the job. So those are just a few little snippets of what we thought of, because honestly, SYEP provides jobs that don't really pertain to what we want to do and what we like and what we aspire to do. So I think that was great. I think that information was great. It was relevant. It was prevalent. And yeah, thank you.
I like that. Group 5, please. Group 5, please.
Is that us?
I believe so.
And Della, we're group 8, but
Okay.
I imagine you can go. I'm not sure. I'll leave that.
No, I'll just wait.
So no one from group 5. All right.
So basically in group 5, our question was like how can people benefit from IP being like webinars and stuff? And we were like, it's better that way because obviously we can't go out right now, and like it's important that young people can still make money from home because a lot of people need it. And that was basically it.
Great. Now we'll go to group 6. Group 6, please. Hola, group 6. No one from group 6?
So how about group 7?
Yeah, group 7, please.
So I was the student ambassador in group 7, and we had discussed the questions, and one of the questions that I like to pay more attention to is question number 4, which were, what are some new or different things you would add to SYP? I got a lot of feedback on that there should be workshops, like different things you should learn inside of SYP, like how the here to here ambassadors have workshops, and I definitely think that's one of the those are a good essential to have, because it can really shape the way you look at things and imagine and shape your imagination on different things, especially when it comes to networking and those types of skills. And I feel like that's something that if you're learning about a job or trying to get into a job, that's something that you have to learn. So if you're learning those skills also, that would be I think it's like my Wi-Fi connection. Can you hear me better now? Yes. Okay. So basically, we were talking about workshops and how we wanted more workshops, and we wanted to reimagine how the workshops looks, because one of my members in my group had said that the last time they got a workshop was when they first joined, so they were 14, and they don't really get workshops anymore. So I definitely think that would help learn the different skills when you're going into a different job setting. And another one of my group members had said that they wanted more time to learn more about the people that they were with. So there are other like work members that you can learn more about. That's it.
Thank
If it's
you.
not a bother, I would like to say something too real quick. What Latoya said about virtually opportunities. One of the girls from my group, her name is Tamia. She said the same thing. She said she wanted to do more virtual things. She said that she wanted people to teach how to do her taxes, how to get credits and stuff. So I think it's very reliable that those ideas are everywhere. And thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we will go to the last group, group 8. That was actually my group.
We didn't really talk about much in that group, but basically to what Maddie said about like expanding the work. Yeah. So basically in summer youth you get assigned to like whatever you choose, but sometimes when you go, your supervisor will put you in a totally different spot, and you end up not having that and you end up not having the ideas you want and like the skill you wanted. So basically that's all we talk about.
There were more than 8 groups, I believe, because I was in group 10.
Oh yeah, we were in group
10, so group 9.
Yeah, group 9. Please.
I'm in group 9. So one thing that we discussed about the benefits of SYEP is that it's a better way for students to stay home and practice social distancing while also participating in SYEP, which everyone wanted to do during the summer. And it's a better way to get more skills on future jobs, such as customer service for perhaps Google, Verizon, Bloomberg, AT&T, and programs like that. And it benefits your working ability, and you get to learn how to work from home. Thank you. And my friend Zanelle would like to say something.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last group, group 10, please.
So I was the ambassador for group 10, and my group has some great ideas, very similar to the ones the other groups were talking about. So we were definitely like right on the nail with that. The remote internship or job thing, skills that they would like to gain from these jobs that they have with the SYEP. So the questions we basically like focused on were like changes and things you would add. And yeah, and somebody brought up mental health awareness, like especially now, if SYEP does come back and we do end up doing some type of work during the summer, they should have 1 to 2 meetings a week checking in with their youth employees, because right now with the COVID-19 happening, we don't know the situations people are going through. They're always home, and we don't really know what's going on. And some people might appreciate that because some people like expressing how they feel and letting things out. So that's one of the things we discussed. And then something about the lottery, like the lottery gotta go because it's not fair to a lot of people who are trying to be in the program during the summer. They're not trying to be home stuck. And like other people said as well, other groups, the jobs that they offer, they should be more career-wise, like, oh, I can see myself doing this. They should make you say, I could see myself doing this in the future. It shouldn't just be childcare or making copies or getting coffee or cleaning parks or whatever. Like, unless you want to be a janitor when you grow up, then by all means you could do that. But jobs that offer good experiences, good skills that can actually set you on track in the future will definitely like do some significant change to the way students and the youth see these opportunities. So yeah, that's what my group discussed a lot more, but yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. I'm in group 10. I think that's the last group, right? Okay, well, thank you all for those wonderful ideas and suggestions. We will collect these notes and frame them as recommendations, and we'll share them with policy and organization leaders who are working to solve this issue around SYEP and summer jobs. Thank you, and I will toss it back to Maddie. Mr. Maddie.
Samaya, thank you for your great facilitation. That was amazing. And thank you all for the brilliant ideas that you brought to the table. Again, just to reiterate what she said, we will collect these notes and thoughts from our students that happened this evening, and we will use them as recommendations that represent the Bronx youth and the Bronx people. These recommendations will be shared with policy and organization leaders who are working on the topic of SYEP as we speak right now, and who are looking for possible solutions and or alternatives. And a quick reminder, we have this little something going on this week, next week actually. Next week on Wednesday, I believe that's the 13th, correct me if I'm wrong, there will be a Know Your Rights housing webinar. This will only be for parents. So kids, go tell your parents, hey, there's a webinar for Know Your Rights. Super cool, super interesting. You should go check it out. It's for guardians and it's for parents who are renting apartments in the Bronx and New York City. And with all of that being said, I would like to thank all of you guys for coming out and supporting a cause that really needs to be supported. I said it once, I said it twice, and I'll say it a third time. SYEP provides a service that is irreplaceable, and therefore it's necessary that we keep it alive. And I just want to say thank you to all the ambassadors, Nicole, Samaya, Ramatulai, Litsa, Latoya, all the ambassadors that came out and did their job. And now, without further ado, I'm going to toss it back to Mr. Joshua Poyer. Joshua, the floor is now yours.
Maddie, thank you so much. That wraps up our Here to Hear teen webinar. I just want to echo Maddie's thoughts. Big thank you to all the student ambassadors, the Here to Hear student ambassadors that helped put this together. It's not an easy thing to kind of ask young people across the city, across the Bronx, to kind of voice their opinions and get the word out. They've done a tremendous job in not only facilitating conversations, but putting this plan together. So Maddie, Litsa, Latoya, Clarabella, Nicole, Asaudi, Samaya, Rama, thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of our guest speakers that came in and spoke so beautifully about the work that you're doing with your organizations. Big thank you to Christina Samuels, who kind of educated us and laid the groundwork for what we need to be thinking about regarding SYEP. Shout out to Alondra, my colleague, who worked tirelessly in putting this together. Again, thank you. Young people, your voices are the most important in the room. Please make sure you never forget that. We're gonna do our best to make sure we always have youth voice present, not only in the room, but informing our work. If you want more information on how to get connected with Here to Hear, go to herettohear.org. You could email me, jpoirier@herettohear.org, if you have any questions, you want to get connected with any of the speakers from today. You can actually throw your email in the chat, and we'll be sure to send you information about next week's Know Your Rights webinar for families. You can join that as well, but this is really geared towards parents, guardians, and families. And we will let you all know how these recommendations move forward in this work. So again, God bless you all. Thank you so much. Please be safe, and we'll see you guys down the road. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you very much for joining in.
Adios. Hasta la vista.
Sayonara.
Adios.
Sayonara, minasan.
Au revoir.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Joanna.
Bye.